Hey guys, in this video we are going to be looking at the linear gradient property in CSS3. Now, using this property, you will be able to create a nice looking gradient with two or more colors inside whatever you're using it for. So in this video, I created a box. As you can see, I've got an empty div with an ideal box inside my body text, and within my style tag, I have an ID box with a width, height, border, and a margin, like you can see over here, which creates this empty box with a 3 pixel black margin. Okay, so actually black border, sorry. So I'm going to be creating some, adding the CSS here. So I'm going to say background linear gradient is and something in like so. Linear gradient brackets, and inside your brackets you're going to be writing your angle, your colors, your percentage, pixels, and so on. But we'll go onto that step by step, one by one. So the default or the simplest way of adding linear gradient is just by adding two colors, so like blue and yellow, for example. So if I save this and refresh my browser, you can see that we have this nice looking gradient effect using blue and yellow. Now by default, the gradient starts from the top with the first color. So at the top we have the blue, and at the bottom we have the yellow, and we have this like smudge in between, which is the mixture of the two. Now the second thing you can do is actually add a color in between. So for example, I could say green here. And now we have a gradient with blue, green, and yellow. So if I refresh my browser, you'll see that the green has been added into the middle. Now, the third thing you can do, it doesn't matter if you delete this green or not, I'm just going to keep there, is you can actually change the percentage or the pixel of each color. So you can state how big you want this to be. So for example, you can change this green from like not 30, I don't know, let's make it 15%, that'll do. And what happens is, if I refresh my browser, that changes, the gradient effect changes. Basically is called the stop position, and by altering this you'll be able to set the position of the color stop on the gradient axis over here. So if I change this from 15% to, I don't know, like 65%, you can see that it changes drastically like so. Now instead of a percentage, you can also set pixels. So for example, if I set, I don't know, 65 pixels, that's also going to change like so, because 100%, 65 percentage of 100% is quite big, but 65 pixels or 400 pixels is relatively small. So if I change this to like, I don't know, 250, that will make a big difference. Okay, let's change this back and delete these and put it to the default, because that looks the best at the moment. There we go. Okay, the third, is it the fourth? The fourth thing you can add is the starting position. By default, the gradient starts from the top, blue, green, and yellow, but you can actually state where you want it to start. So over here, I am going to say like bottom. And if I refresh, oops, one sec. Okay, the reason why this bottom didn't work when I refresh is because of the vendor prefixes problem. Now, Google Chrome currently 90% supports this linear gradient. However, in order to add these custom starting position, bottom, top, left, right, you'll have to add the Webkit like so. So if I say Webkit linear gradient, oh, there we go, you can see everything now. So background is Webkit linear gradient, bottom, blue, green, yellow. If I refresh, that is going to work, and the blue is starting from the bottom, followed up by green and yellow. So if I change this from bottom to left, it's going to start from the left, and if I say right, it's going to start from the right. Now, instead of saying bottom, top, left, right, although top is by default, you can actually say like 45 deg. You can state angles, and that is actually going to start from the 45 degrees, like so, and it's going to go in that direction, 45 degrees. So you have this like diagonal gradient. You can actually say minus 45 degrees instead of 45, which is basically going to be the same as 275, is it? 200 and, I've got the maths, 300, I think it's minus 45 degrees is the same as 315. Yep, that is because the whole circle is 360 degrees and minus 45 degrees is the same as 315 degrees. Basic maths, I can't believe I forgot that. You can say with angles like 192, and that is still going to start from a weirdish angle like so. So that was a quick video on linear gradient. I was actually going to talk about the vendor prefixes last, but since I completely forgot the, what do you call it, starting position support for Google Chrome still requires Webkit, I guess I'll talk about it now because that's the end of the video. Okay, if you go to caniuse.com, you can see that currently IE10 supports it. However, versions of Internet Explorer prior to that doesn't support it, up to 9. Firefox supports from I think 16, I think it says 19 here, but I think it supports from 16. However, if you want to use it, if you want to show the gradient, linear gradient for older browsers like Firefox 4.0, I think 4.0, you'll have to use the Moz linear gradient like so. Also, currently Safari requires the Webkit as well as the iOS Safari, and the Android BlackBerry browser both supports, both requires Webkit, and Opera Mini also doesn't support the linear gradient at the moment. So when you want to use this in your website, I recommend you have at least 3 of these, one for Moz, one for Webkit, and one for nothing, so that it supports all all major web browsers. So that's it. I think you should put background, the normal one, on top maybe. I'm not sure because this isn't supported by the normal one. Maybe you should just use Webkit and Moz for now. So it looks like this. Okay, so that's it for the linear gradient, which looks really cool like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.